Ooh, crunchy. Welcome one and all to yet another unboxing video. Today we're going through ZenPop's February stationery box. So it's a bunch of stationery items from Japan, and they're always adorable. So we're gonna dig right inside, see what's in there, and try and get inspired by the contents and create something. Okay, let's dig in. Ooh, this is new. ZenPop Neon Pastel. Oh, this is the menu that lists all the art supplies they've gotten. A little bit of a different format. Trifold. Then this, same as before. Oh, wait. So there's a featured artist because it's in collaboration with the illustrator, photographer, and concept artist, Denise Rashidi. There they are right there. I am loving all of this. I've been using Japanese stationery and art supplies since going to art school. Using Japanese stationery just makes boring desk work so much more fun and vibrant. I would concur. Let's see what we're dealing with. Okay, so this is a neon pass liner. Looks like it's probably a highlighter, but it's double-ended. Again, made in China. Thought they're supposed to be from Japan. Then again, I guess you could buy stuff from America and it would say made in China. Anyway, one in twist. Plus is up and minus is down. There's also a cap with this like orange jelly, I would describe it. I think it's like a highlighter. It's waxy. Ooh. That's orange and that's pink, so that's confusing to me. Let me grab my sketchbook. I just want to know what the heck this... I assume you're supposed to draw with it. I don't think that's going too far to assume. So if you just like mark the paper with it. It's pink! Ah! Okay, it's definitely a highlighter. It's so greasy, you have no idea. I assume it's waxy is probably the correct term. Greasy. Reminds me of at work when a popcorn oil comes in a box. Inside that box there's a bag. And one morning I came to work and the bag had decided to excrete all of its contents all over the tile. Let's just say it somehow ended up in all of my hair. It was disgusting. And that reminds me of this. But I gotta say this is way prettier. Do you like hearts? It's really fun in the way it like glides. So it's like one of those plastic crayons. Twistables. Very cool. I'm interested to know how it would like work alongside other supplies or if it'll be too greasy. Ah, there comes that word again. All right, what else we got in here? It's a Secure Micron Pigma in the size 01. And it happens to be pink as well. It goes right on top. Doesn't seem to like get stuck in it. All right, let's see what else we're in here. Everything else looks... Oh wait, is this in our supplies as well? Everything's so glowy and pink. Okay, definitely brightening up my mood. Wait, is this a pencil with a sharpener built in? Looks like it's also a highlighter of some sort. Let's pull it out and see. Hey, we left a piece behind. So here's the pencil. It's the Highline Neon Color Marker 3.9. So this is a highlighter as well. Oh, it's got a lot more grit than that crayon. And then it's also a sharpener. If you couldn't tell, this one's more of like a hot pink, I would say. Oh, wait, you know what I need to do? I need to see if it's more highlightery. We'll write something. And then we'll go over top of that. Yeah, so it has a transparency to it, not as much as the crayon did, but you obviously could use it to highlight. I think it would be better, kind of like it shows on the thing. I think they're using it to underline stuff. Now into the stuff that's probably a lot more visually pleasing for you. What should I grab first? Maybe I'll close my eyes. Okay, this is so cute. It's like a little washi tape cutter. I gotta say, it's a little... It's a lot cuter and less disturbing than that bunny cutter that we got. I love the like matte texture. Hopefully it works as well. It's a little nicer than this creepy thing. Anyway, we'll try this guy out with the washi tape. Now this definitely looks very strongly influenced by the artist. Oh, it's one of those ones with scalloping on the edge. I think that's what you call it. Ooh, we got bridges and towers and Ferris wheels. We're putting that right along the edge. That way we can enjoy that scalloping. I love the oranges and the purples and like the dark blues. So if we put, how do we use this? I think you go this direction. Oh wow, it just grabs right on there. There's little ridges there that kind of grab the edge of the cardboard ring. Doesn't really move around. I'm a fan. 2 thumbs up. Something I really like about it that's different from like the bunny one that I just showed you is look how easy it is to take it on and off. It's a little weird when you like put it down, but that's a price I'm willing to pay. All right, what else we got in here? We have little Pee-Pee. That's what I call my dog sometimes. No, I don't actually. Oh, these little seal stickers. So it looks like there's one really big sticker. What is this? We got one really big one that looks just like the cover, and then the rest are small little seal stickers for like sealing envelopes and such. That one looks like a penguin. And then we have more of that like kind of canary looking thing. I feel like every once in a while I'm like, oh, this is a product that I feel like comes in a lot and I don't end up using it. I've found ways to use just about everything at this point, except for these little seal stickers. I think it's because they come in such large amounts. I'll like every once in a while use like one. I like that you can see them through a little punched out window in the card. Very cute packaging. I love it. What is this? There's a little stamp. Well, it's a sticker made to look like a stamp, but still. Look, it's a little bit adjusted, but it's just like that. So that's definitely by the artist. So pretty. I love the colors and the uses of gradients. And it's like a pop art feel that I really like. Next up. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so these look like sticky notes. So you got like a slim, a little bit wider. You've got these cute little pointy ones. I'm trying to find a way to describe it. You got a big pointy one. That's like the big sticky note. It's got little cameras all over it. I'm trying to figure out what this... Oh, you know what it is? I figured it out. I thought I was looking at like a building and windows, but you know what it is? It's like map view. You can see all the cross streets, like the expressway. Okay, I understand the theme now. So it's like a travel tag, and then it's got the maps. All right. Oh, there's another sticker. Definitely by the artist as well. I like the glossy finish. That's really cute. Oh, there's a print, or is it a postcard, or what? It's a postcard. That's going up on my wall. I've already said this, but I love the gradient and the use of color. All right, it looks like we're down to the last item. Wait, does this go with that? I was like, wait, that looks like that same texture. So this one is like a purple version. I think you can see a lot better what I was trying to say, how it looks like the Google Maps view. It's so cool. Even if it's just like made up, it looks like a real city, so it's really cool. Oh, there's two colors? There's like a darker purple one and then the more pastel pinky one. I really like the way that looks. It's one of those things that I like so much I don't want to use it, but we're gonna find a way to do something cool with this. Oh, you know what I need to do? I should stick one of these in here. I always forget about these. Can't take inspiration for something I don't remember, you know? Oh, and then the cupcake one with... That one's a unicorn. Can you see? How close do we gotta get? Do you see the unicorn cupcake? That's adorable. So I'm thinking before I do anything else, what I should do is try and find some of these colors. I feel like my Ohulus might be close. I'm just gonna swatch them and try and see what I got. Oh, that's close. That's very close. Because we could also probably go over it with a little bit of cool gray. Oop, and that looks spot on. Then I would like this like pastel-y purple. So right now I'm just trying to build a color scheme based off of some of these items. I'd like one of the more reddish purples. Oop, that's pretty good too. I think that's fine for now. So we've got these 4 markers. So a pink and a purple, and then we have a dark, almost navy blue, I would call it. We also have all of these, which I feel like we could use we need to like brighten something up. I'm kind of tempted to draw like a little, like a cityscape, because that looks like what this artist enjoys doing the most. And I feel like everything in this box kind of leans into that way direction. So what we could do is kind of try and recreate something first, kind of get a feel for it. I think I want to actually sketch with the pens. I don't know if that's weird. We'll just play around, see what happens. Start up here. I'm going to draw a little rectangle. Looks like this artist likes to draw in portrait. Landscapes in portrait. I should think of like perspective and stuff, but I kind of just want to get a feel for drawing straight lines. Leave room for like little details. Fun texture. We got like signs. I'm kind of just copying this for the most part. You don't actually see the street because it's kind of looking upwards. I might like to do a little bit more like New York-y architecture. New York-y. Because that fits into kind of some themes of some projects I've been working on. I'll add some dangly wires or something. And maybe the moon right here. Now let's play around with the colors. So I'll go with my lightest pinkest color and we'll go upwards and get darker. Actually, that's not as light as I feel like it needs to be. I wonder if I can kind of lift it a little bit. Kind of move upwards and switch over to this one. Kind of getting a feel for whatever vibe we're trying to go with. Interesting. I might grab a white gel pen. Come on, baby. Nope. Nothing. Nothing. Posca pen it is. I just don't like to use this too much with my markers because it's acrylic. We had little stars. I feel like it needs to be a little darker, but I'm thinking if we're following this kind of color palette, what I should do is kind of color the buildings in black. I don't want to do the signs. I'm using these like neon ones for the signs that kind of make them look like they're glowing. Try the crayon. Might as well use it all and just kind of see what happens when we layer different art supplies so we know maybe what we should avoid in another attempt. Also want to be drawing the wires. Maybe just drawing everything. Why not? Give it like some building texture, architecture. I'll just break it up, not trying to not do anything too close to itself. My perspective is all out of whack, but to be honest, I don't actually care. I like the little lines. Little straight lines, because I never use straight lines in my art, you know? Add some extra lines. All right. This made me realize I want to try this again. 800%. Nothing like drawing people, that's for sure. I'm scared to add some of this. I mean, maybe just as like little areas. Oh, I don't know. Go over it with this. I add a little window. I keep grabbing the chisel end. Put a little window here. And just add a little contrast here and there. Yeah, I think I'm digging the more pastel vibe, so I think I'm probably gonna not use this next time. Let's do the same thing I did before, sketching with the Copic marker. I feel like I need a reference though, because I really like the way this turned out when it was inspired by this. I'm kind of nervous if I just went in it without anything that I'd get very confused. Well, let's see what happens. So if we have another portrait shape and we're looking, are we looking down at the building? Let's try down. So if you have like the end of the roads there, maybe you'd have buildings sitting in here. Like everything would kind of be going to that point way down here maybe. And their buildings will come off of that. Kind of go like that. If you have a building that starts here, it kind of comes upwards like this. So all the lines should be kind of meeting over there, right? Is that how that works? Like lines this way. Kind of find the grid. Sidewalks, trees maybe, little trees. This is a little bit more New York-y vibe, I think. 1940s New York. It's like the roof of a building over here. Yeah. I wonder if this is as fun to watch as it is to create. It's like just a bunch of straight lines, to be honest. And then as you go up, I think the windows usually get a little smaller. I think I need another line somewhere for like the other buildings. Maybe a flag. Kind of just place the windows. Maybe one of those like water towers. Do I just keep the window pattern exactly the same, or do I like black out some of them? Kind of cute. I'll add in the sky. I wonder if I should do the sky in the navy blue. See, this one used purple though. I wonder if that would be smarter. This is very highlightery purple. Yeah, let's try it, whatever. What's the worst that can happen? I hate the drawing and walk away. Okay, so that's kind of the only sky you actually see. I'm throwing some stars. All right, now I'm gonna add in the water tower. And some boxes up here. Anytime there's a straight line, you should be referencing that. What's that called? Vanishing point? Vanishing point. The problem is I don't know how to use that to find what this is supposed to look like. I think what you're supposed to do is when you take this and like a ruler, and then you draw straight lines coming from that point to wherever you want that to end. So then you use those lines to create your horizontal line. So within here they should connect. Or maybe you're just supposed to create straight up lines. Clearly I need to review how you're supposed to do this. So the windows should all fit within those two lines if I want all the windows to line up. Make them get smaller as they go off into the distance too. If you told me I was going to be drawing buildings today and I was going to be enjoying it, I would never have believed you. Kind of get them spaced out as they get there. Just kind of wung that. I don't know how you're supposed to figure that out. We'll just eyeball it. Wanted that mid-tony purple for the windows. Kind of like the reflecting the sky. Now for this like gazebo, what's that called? Awning. We want the top line to follow this. Like that. We'll shoot the awning, went on to the next building. Oh, maybe that's just how it happened. Adds a little character. Oh, you know what? I forgot the trees. I guess we could do like silhouettes for the trees and they would just kind of go over it. I'm gonna start with this one. Go upwards, break off into some stems. I guess it's a little wintry fall at least. Gonna come upwards. One more tree down here. And then I guess would probably be one here-ish. Our little cart of apples or whatever this is. Now this one I'm confused about, but I guess we'll just create like a different vanishing point and kind of just eyeball this. I feel like it's not really the main focal point. Alright, I'm gonna erase these guidelines, finish up some of this. I also feel like I need to color in the pavement something. Oh, wait, I forgot to add these little flags. Might actually add a little bit darker purple on some of these reflections. Kind of like add that same gradient. I think I'll color in the road with this at least. We might go a little darker. Seems a little sterile because there's like no people, but it's kind of what the world looks like right now anyway. I also feel like I want to kind of fade that back. I'll use what I sketched with to kind of just set that back. So that your like focal point is more on these buildings. Use a little white gel pen to kind of clean up some of the edges. Got some like brick texture. I'm happy with that. This is crazy. It's like, it's not something I draw all the time. So it's like giving me a strange exhilaration. You know what I do need to do though? Use some of these supplies that it came with to make one of these buildings pink. We also have this one. Maybe use that for bricks. There you go. Who would have thought drawing straight lines could be so much fun? I think we definitely need to do another one. I'm loving the color scheme. So this time I want to try that straight from the beginning. Also, I'm having a lot of luck sketching with the Copic marker. Make an interesting shape. Fill this in. Let's just pick a random focal point. I don't know enough to know which ones are difficult and which ones are easy, so we're just gonna pick one. Like when it's too close, you'll end up with really weird distortion. So let's put it, I don't know, up here. And we'll just go ahead and add in all these lines. We got those lines. Now we need like another one. I feel like it needs to be way over here, but I've run out of paper. So maybe we'll try right here. This is probably like such a strange... I don't think I've ever seen two vanishing points in such a strange orientation. How do I find lines in here? So clearly these would be lines, right? But this way... Oh, it's like you're looking down at the ground. Ooh, wait. So like if this was a window, there'd be one right here. Ooh, see how crazy that is? That's like you're falling. Let's do another one. Why not? Got some windows. Now what happens if I want like the building to end right here? So if like this is the top of the building. How do I draw backwards? Do I use one of these vanishing points? I want the building to go backwards, but maybe that's not how you would see it. Yeah, you wouldn't see it because you're below or are you above? DrawingWiffWaffles, certified perspective expert. Not. Can I see this crazy perspective I created? It's like fish-eyeing. I think I'll put the edge of the building here. So I guess you don't see the top of that. You could do something like this. Like that's the underside. I'm having a hard time knowing what I'm looking at, to be honest. It's so fisheye distorted because I put them too close together and I tried to keep them in the sketchbook. You hear the stress in my voice. So what about if it's lower? Would you see the top of the building then? I think you see this. Am I above or below? Where am I? So where did I get that line? Yeah, that should end here. Since the windows are so much of a focal point, might as well play them up a little. Very tricky. Yeah, it kind of like curves almost. I wonder if I messed up when I was drawing the lines. Maybe put another water tower, because that's not square. I think breaking up all the square lines with something more rounded actually really helps too. Whether it's correct perspective-wise or not. Look how crazy wobbly this is. I do want to just go ahead and color it. I mean, because I already put the work into it, right? Let's see if by adding in like some liner, you can make any more sense of this. I liked with the other one how I didn't use the ruler for this because it like gave it a more organic hand-drawn vibe, but clearly this perspective requires a little bit of a different approach. Kind of seems like I should have had this perspective to the right of the illustration, then it would have been more... Does that make sense? I think I'm definitely learning something, which is what's important here. Over here, it makes more sense, which makes me think your two perspective lines should be on opposite sides of your drawing. That seems important to know. A little ladder over here. I think I made dew out of this. Wait, what is it? Mountain Dew? Still some areas of extreme confusion, but I think that's just what it is. But it kind of shows you even if... I mean, I wouldn't say I messed up putting in my points because I didn't know what I was doing, but it looks like you can put them anywhere and it still kind of makes sense. Probably for a more generic perspective, you'd have them on opposite sides. I'll try it one more time to make sure that's correct. Okay, so let's add in the night sky here with the purple. Get rid of our grid marks. Use this for the windows. Kind of just keep the same color scheme. What happens if I draw in a line here? Would that be the top of the building? Much to learn. Let's go ahead and add some more of that like highlighter stuff. I don't want to add stars. I think that's my favorite part. I feel like it makes it just look so much more fantasy. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. On top of the crayon. Hey, I pulled it off. Okay, so now I want to test my theory. I could probably Google this, but I want to test my theory that having the perspective points on opposite sides of your illustration solves this problem. I'm gonna put it, let's try them with them lower. I keep putting them up high. Another vertical one. Okay, now this time I'll do one right here and one, I don't know, over here. I would just draw in a bunch of these and I'll meet you when that's done. Look how crazy that is. Kind of looks similar to that, but like below instead of above. So it's more like we're looking up. Let's add in this one and see how that changes how I see things. Changes my perspective, you could say. Ooh, that's kind of confusing. So let's pick the bottom of the building. Maybe this line. We'll go straight up to, we need another line. We got this, it's like the corner of a building. How do you do this area? Because now I'm lower. So maybe you want both of them below it. We'll play with it, see what happens. We'll just use these lines. And then we'll need another one for the top. And then you have a gazebo. Awning, it's an awning. Then there's a tree on either side with our little like basket of apples. See, the problem is we're below the ground here. But I think I'll try to kind of cure that problem. Let's just break. Let me know if you want me to do a video where I literally read up on this stuff and then get back to you. And there's trees. This will be the road, right? We can use this. So this is the road. I think I solved the problem. All right, let me grab my micron. Then we'll draw in everything. And I'm not gonna use the ruler. We're gonna see if I've learned anything. So the further your like vanishing points are, I feel like the more organic it kind of feels. Wait a minute, I'm a little confused about this area. Oh, I must have been using this line. Clearly you need to choose one as your, one's like the Z-axis and one's the X-axis. Axis. This makes so much more sense than that one did. Add in these little thingies. Kind of just breaks up the building really. And there was the building that's like here. Ooh, that's color. Let's add a little bit of color to this one. Let's color in the windows the same way. I want to do more of a gradient, even though I don't have a lot of sky showing. I would like to try and include a gradient. Blend into this one, I think. More of this, and the windows. That's good. There you are. Stars. The tree could be a different color. What about this purple? Throw a little of this on. I like it. I feel like I have to do a lot of these to figure out like where a good perspective line goes. I wonder, would it make sense to actually draw like a building in the perspective you want? Also like draw a box. Although coming up with a random perspective is kind of difficult. But I want to see what happens. If you like say I want to draw this building like this. So that's the building. Can I use that then inside of a shape like this? Figure out where these lines should go. The dot's approximately here, but if it's up here, then it definitely needs to be even farther away, but still line up with that, which means it would need to be right here on the page. I think it has to go like right here. So let me go back to a lighter color. Just kind of add in these guys. But then your other axis should be how much of the side of the building I want to see. I don't know, something like that. Have I done anything at that perspective? So that would mean that my axis needs to be lined up with this. It needs to be down here where you also can't see. So as we draw in more of these, let's see if this makes sense. Just experimenting and having some fun with this. I have not really experimented with perspective like this before. What is this line for? It would be used for the awning, right? No. I think we're having this problem again, even though it makes sense for this line. I think it needed to be closer. So this line needs to also line up with that one, I think is what it is. This is not less confusing than just drawing the lines and hoping for the best. I'm not even sure what to do with this. I'm gonna just try and draw a building because I think I just drew too many lines to like make that work. So let's just go for it. I'm gonna use a chisel and maybe use some of these lines if it makes any sense at all. Let's try and make this work. And follow these perspective lines. Kind of just using the really simple ones. I wonder if there'd be like stairs up here. Just using the grid. A little cooler architecture. Just making stuff up as I go. Alright, let's add in the gradient in the background. Starting with our darkest purple. It's a pretty good gradient for now. Add in our stars. I might even put in our little moon. And stars. I like to do little clusters and then some more sporadic ones. And the windows. Now let's add in the liner. Railings. Window under there. Window over here. Windows for everyone. Everyone gets a window. Now I need to add in the trees. I think I use this color for that. Add a little shadow under some stuff. Oh, and we need that crayon for this building. Keep it cohesive. White jump in. Gonna find the little pieces. Kind of trace over what I drew with the Posca, and then when that dries, go over it with the marker, and hopefully you won't be able to see the fine liner underneath it. Clean up some of the sketch as well. The less necessary lines. Waiting for the trees to dry. Got tempted to put this across the bottom of this side too, now that we're over here. Pretty dry. Let's go over it, see if my plan worked. Definitely has a different look to it. Almost looks like a more full tree with more branches. I'm happy with these. I even like this one that was like a pain in the butt to try and figure out. Then we have the first one that was inspired by the featured artist, Surudenise. This one. I really like how they had a featured artist in the box. It kind of like put me off onto a different like path than I feel like I normally go in, and I'm really happy with all of these, and I love the inspiration of the colors. I don't think it would have been as fun as if I was just drawing buildings in building colors, but drawing them in pretty neon pastel colors, yes, so much better. Really kept me entertained when it got stressful. Big thank you to ZenPop for sending this box my way. I had so much fun with it, as you can tell. I need to look into perspective though, because now I'm fascinated by the concept. So if you're interested in maybe touching base when I know a little more and I can maybe be helpful in some way, let me know if that'd be interesting for you. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys all next week, and hope you have a delicious evening full of waffles. Bye!